And let's just for a moment focus on how well the ABCC is going. Just in the last few weeks, since it's come back into action, we've had multiple media reports of judges, federal court judges, criticising the ABCC. In this report, Judge turns on ABCC for wasting time over a cup of tea CFMEU incident. Federal court judge has blasted the Australian Building and Construction Commission for wasting time and taxpayers' money for taking on two CFMEU officials to court for having a cup of tea. This is what the judge has said. This is all extreme force that are being beaten up what's just really an ordinary situation that amounts to virtually nothing. For God's sake, I don't know what this inspectorate is doing. He said, and I quote, "The use of public resources to bring the bar down to this level really calls into the question the exercise discretion to the process." This is the federal court saying, back to the ABCC, a creation of this government, you're wasting our time, you're wasting taxpayers' time. This is what this government's focused on. They've created an inspectorate that our own federal court is saying you're wasting our time, you're wasting taxpayers' time. This isn't the only case. We also saw last week another article that was published on March the 12th, building case thrown out. Again, taxpayers were left with a hefty bill after the ACTU Supreme Court ordered the AFP to pay back bolts of CFMEU costs over an illegal raid on the CFMEU offices in Canberra. This is on top of, on Monday, the federal court decision, the latest legal setback for the ABCC in its campaign. Another judge last week sharply criticised the mounting large and expensive case against the CFMEU over virtually nothing. This is what federal court judges are saying about your ABCC. Lots of money being wasted, lots of the court's time being wasted on virtually nothing, on wasting time over a cup of tea. That's the focus of this government. That's why we question this bill, and that's why we're going to refer it to a Senate committee to really test the rigour of it. We've already seen with the ABCC and the fact that it's now going before the court, the criticism of the federal court. Waste of taxpayers' money, waste of time over virtually nothing. And what is the ABCC pursuing these organisers for? And this is like we've had ministers stand up and say dozens of CFMEU officials are facing criminal offences. Well, that is, and this is what they're dealing with. Well, in these two cases, in the case of a cup of tea, the organiser had failed to give 24 hours notification of entering a site. An administrative or paper error. That's what it was. That's not a criminal offence. When people stand up here and say that that's a criminal offence, it is not. It is a breach of the industrial relations. It's an administrative error, failed to give 24 hours notice. So let's not get carried away with the truth. It's a very long bow to say, and this is the problem that we have, a government that is fixated on prosecuting people who failed to submit a notice, a right of entry notice. That is not the major crime in this country, and it is completely the wrong focus of this government.